How's it going? Thank you, thank you for dropping back in to the Apocalypse stream. Today, I want to go over a couple things. But first off, after my dog finishes a little scratch, I'm just going to get right into it. Hello, if you're tuning in, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to get right into this. I want to go over 3 stories quickly. And I want to start out with your own home personal nuclear reactor. So, reported by Money Watch 5 days ago, former SpaceX engineers founded a company to build a climate-friendly, cost-effective, portable nuclear reactors called Radiant. Radiant is moving forward with plans to bring small nuclear reactors, also known as microreactors, to the market. The shipping container-sized units are capable of operating independently from the electrical grid to supply highly resilient power for critical loads under normal emergency conditions. Hi, Radical Leftist Agenda. How's it going? Yeah, we're talking about personal nuclear reactors that some SpaceX engineers designed. So, based out of Segundo, California, Radiant CEO Doug Burnow, I discussed with him microreactors' potentials, challenges, and the future of the company, as well as Kalidos, its 1.2 megawatt nuclear reactor. So let's see. Hey, Les Bones, how's it going? Happy Thursday to everybody. One more day. I'm really excited about going to Nancy Pelosi's house and doing that. Hopefully, again, my live stream on Twitch works. But obviously, we'll be recording the event. Still haven't posted any of the Medicare for All videos. I've been kind of busy at work. Just after you're working all day, you just want to chill out. So I haven't really been focused. I also really don't want to sit on my computer and edit those things. So yes, there's no march tomorrow, but there is a People's Assembly being organized by Code Pink. So I'm not really sure what People's Assembly really means, but they are planning to camp out overnight. So I'm gonna show up, and I don't think I'll camp out unless it's super interesting. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yes, going to Pelosi's house tomorrow after work. So yeah, I want to talk about these reactors. What are exactly? So Money Watch says, what exactly are the portable reactors you're developing? We're developing Kalidos, a 1.3 megawatt reactor, or enough power for about 1,000 homes. The units are designed to last around 5 years, but the exact duration depends on the variability of the demand. After 5 years, the units are shipped back to the factory and can have the coil replaced 3 times for total loads. How accessible will your reactors be to the general public in terms of price and regulations? Is it something small townships or even a group of households in remote areas can invest in on their own? Accessibility to the general public would only happen after developing many units and providing safety with those early customers. The first customers are in off-grid remote areas, and power will be provided through utilities. Generally, the units are affordable, but they will need a large enough community, at least hundreds of homes, to achieve efficient outputs. So other than electricity, where do you see the radiant reactors being used? Electricity generation, portable and scalable, can save lives, so it could replace diesel for hospitals or disaster relief. Any off-grid location, especially in cold regions, needs reliable power generation for the same reason. The military certainly operates in remote and off-grid locations, so basically they're going to be developing, they just said it, they mentioned the military. So that means that this is being developed for the military, probably to go green, right? The military is going to go green, and Joe Biden, Republicans, and the Democratic Party believe that nuclear energy is green because it's not, it's not wasting fossil fuels. So looks like they're going to be developing these reactors for the military, but they're going to say that you and I can get them for our own houses, which is going to be super interesting if, like, they do develop a small enough reactor that goes in your backyard or in your garage or something, and then we can all become nuclear scientists and stuff and mess around with nuclear reactors, and I don't know, like accidentally set something off. But I found this article really, or this story really interesting because, isn't nuclear power the reason that we're sanctioning Iran? We don't allow the country of Iran to develop its own nuclear power source. But here in the United States, anyone can get a nuclear reactor, is basically what this is telling me. So I can get a nuclear reactor, but a country like Iran cannot. Seems a little bit weird. So it is pretty weird. And it sounds super unsafe. So, like, what is, like, Amazon gonna, once their nuclear cores are spent, is Amazon gonna deliver a new core? And am I gonna be able to go and, like, replace this? And then what happens to the core? We already have a nuclear waste problem, so, like, why do small communities need nuclear power if the sun's everywhere? So let's see what else. How close are you to releasing your product on the market? We expect to hit markets in 2028. We've raised over $3 million to date and have received awards from the Department of Energy and the Department of Defense. Of course. We've gone to 3 people a year ago to 14 today. We're hiring rapidly. We have built a control drum, an advanced simulator, and we'll release a demonstration in the next few months. We should have a field demonstration in 5 years. Radiant will always be a portable nuclear reactor developer. In 10 years, we should have 25 units built and operating and be working on another design. We currently have no planned future products. We are focused on our Kaleidos reactor development solely. Portable reactors could be used anywhere humans want to be. Power generation sources are the root of life support. If you have power, you can purify water or air and grow food. Yeah. And nuclear power can purify water and air and grow food, and it could also poison water, air, and food. So that makes total sense. Biden, they want to take our nukes. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. They want to take our nuclear power. Well, if I purchase on the free market my radiant reactor, try taking that from me, Biden. All right. So let me go to the next story. I'm going to try to speed through this a little bit because I am a little bit tired and tired of sitting on my office chair. Let me go to the next story. How are you guys doing? Next thing I want to talk about is some firefighters. So the city of New York is begging for volunteer firefighters because they fired all their firefighters because of the jab mandates. So now they're just looking for free labor. They're not even like offering anything, not even trying to like, you know, offer people their jobs back. But hey, if you're vaccinated and you want to work for free on saving people in New York, you can volunteer to be a firefighter. Makes a lot of sense. And like what? I'll start reading the article by the Daily Mail here. But like, why do volunteer firefighters even exist? Don't we like pay taxes for firefighters? I don't understand. I don't understand why we need volunteer firefighters. Ray McGovern say Iran doesn't even have nuclear weapons. Yeah, dude. The United States will say anything to get what they want. Nobody has nuclear weapons except for us and China, and I think Russia. India too has nuclear weapons. But it's like countries don't want to blow people up, you know? Like if they're developing any sort of nuclear program, it's probably because they can't purchase enough oil because there's an oil cartel, something like that. Like nobody's like purposefully trying to build nuclear weapons. In my, I mean, that's just my thoughts. I don't know for sure. I'm not like a nuclear weapons expert, so I don't want to say anything. But yeah, so NYC begs for volunteer firefighters from Long Island to upstate New York, as close to 1/3 of FDNY staff remain unvaccinated ahead of November 1st deadline. So today's the 4th. So 26 firehouses closed. NYC has issued a statewide call for firefighters from both Long Island and upstate New York as 1/3. Okay, I just read that. About 72% of FDNY workers have been vaccinated ahead of the November 1st deadline, meaning that up to 4,000 workers may be terminated from the department. The message was sent through email as nearly 350 potential volunteer firefighters were tagged. Good morning, all, the email said. We need to start identifying members of the service who are active volunteer firemen in both Long Island and upstate counties in anticipation of the impending shortage for the FDNY due to COVID-19, 84 Jabby mandates. On a voluntary-only basis, operations looking to have qualified members on standby to backfill firehouses if necessary. Please get back to me as soon as possible with rank, years of fire service, and training qualifications. So they're firing fire departments because they refuse to get vaccinated. But they're then asking for volunteers to come in and replace them. Not even like the army, not even like the National Guard, the Navy, like skilled people that know what to do in case of a fire, but they're just asking for volunteers who have done it before. And I don't really know what type of volunteers they ask for, but you know, are these the volunteers that like wash the trucks? Are they the volunteers that like cook at the firehouses, like clean, like take out the trash, like help with like blood drives and stuff. Like, what are we talking here? Here's the actual email. A total of 26 firehouses have been forced to close after firefighters refused to get vaccinated ahead of Mayor de Blasio's Monday deadline. And a 7-year-old boy died the following day as department saw shaft major staff shortages. The Uniformed Firefighters Association revealed a list of FDNY stations that have been closed due to no manpower, and it includes 6 in Manhattan, 9 in Brooklyn, 3 in Queens, 4 in the Bronx, and 4 in Staten Island. On Friday, FDNY Commissioner Daniel Nigro warned that the effects of the closures could be catastrophic and endanger the lives of city residents. A day later, Robert Resto, age 7, was killed, and his 50-year-old grandmother was seriously hurt after a deadly blaze engulfed their Washington Heights home around 1:30 a.m. in the morning on Saturday. So isn't Washington Heights where Jamal Bowman is from? He hasn't said anything. Or the Bronx. Let's see. AOC is from the Bronx, right? 4 firehouses have closed in the Bronx, and she hasn't said anything. She's actually like encouraged people to continue to get vaccinated and push that agenda. So it's just, what's going on? What's going on? Like, we need fire departments. Oh, here's the photo of the kid who passed away. How sad. Rest in power, kid. Slip and slide. Hey guys, Wesley, Reef, Brylan, what's up? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Hilarious. They think anyone they call for help isn't affected by the same shortage. For reals, right? They're probably, they probably don't have a job. They probably don't have like the money. They're a volunteer fire department. They're probably, and they're calling them from like other parts of New York. You think they're gonna, someone from like Buffalo, New York, or like Niagara Falls, New York, or something is gonna like drive down to New York City to volunteer to fight fires and like pay their own gas, which is, I don't know what gas is like in New York at the moment, but here in the Bay Area, gas is almost, if not our, like last week, a regular gallon of gasoline in South San Francisco was $5.95. That was last week, so it's probably $6 right now. I haven't filled up my gas tank this week, but like, is the city going to like pay for the commute to get out to New York? If you're calling me from Long Island, like, so insane. Like, nobody's talking about this. And I'm sure like volunteers don't know how to like drive these trucks, like they're probably like like, I don't know, maybe we should look into what volunteer firefighters are allowed or can't allowed to do or not to do, but I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to like do all the things, administer first aid, like put people on oxygen tank stuff, like the EMT style firefighters. Like, what really can a volunteer fire department do but like, I don't know, like help you down the stairs or something? That's it. And like, these people probably don't have like health care either. So it's like, I'm gonna volunteer to go out to New York City and fight fires, and I don't have health care myself. It's fire insurance, I guess now. I was griping about $5 in Sonoma County. Well, yeah, Wesley, I would imagine Sonoma is going to get to $6. Now, given this was, I've seen they're in the 590, and this is like Shell and Valero, Chevron, Valero. Arco is always a little bit cheaper, so I don't know, but I'd assume Arco is getting up there too. I'm gonna have to. I actually have. I actually have to put gas later today, so I'll check it out. Anyways, yeah. So volunteer fire department. Right? They're begging people because they've fired all their qualified firemen to go out and help fight fires in New York. It's crazy. Check it out. Let's check this video out. I'm very angry. NYC firefighters protest COVID vaccine mandate.
65 fires a day, 1,400 life-threatening medical emergencies a day. Let me know when you got the sign. Hold the line for change and choice! Hold the line for change and choice! Now, if you look at our test and vax program that the FDNY had, we had thousands of tests, and under 0.5% positive for firefighters and fire officers in the FDNY from the test and vax program. So why change it? We've already achieved the goals. Why are we changing that? One person is making that decision. One person is making this mandate happen to the fire department, even though we're successful. That's Bill de Blasio. That's our mayor imposing it on us. We came in every call. Our membership was exposed to COVID. Many of our people got sick. Many of them got gravely ill. After that happened, they had the antibodies at the same level as the vaccines. Why aren't those people recognized as the same as the vaccine antibody level?
Damn. Did my video go out? I'm not really sure if I don't think you guys heard what I just said, but maybe it's good that I was muted by accident. It's just I can't believe that they're asking for people to volunteer to be firefighters. That's it. Like, not trained people. It's insane. All right. Guys, thank you for tuning in. To the new guys, hello. Make sure to click and subscribe. Maybe like the video, maybe share the video. Twitch, YouTube. This isn't on Odyssey yet. Twitter. Make sure to follow and share there. You can find me at @hatres_ on Twitter. So last thing I want to go over, which I think it's a little concerning. China sounds alarm bell, tells citizens they need to stock up on food before winter. Is this a warning for America? Invalid, how's it going? Thanks for dropping in. Kind of coming into the last story here before I bounce out. But yeah, let's read this a little bit. So China's central planners are telling, and this story is found on Natural News. China's central planners are telling the country's 1.4 billion people to stock up on food for the winter because there may not be enough to go around. The Chicom leaders ordered the leading state-owned energy companies in September to secure enough supplies for the winter months at all costs. And now they are telling Chinese households that they better start stocking up for food as well, which is just triggering wild speculation about the possibility that tensions with Taiwan might spill over onto all-out warfare, which would likely spark a response from Asian neighbors and the United States. Bloomberg reported that the Ministry of Commerce has informed Chinese households earlier in the week to store additional food in case there is an emergency following another outbreak of COVID-19. Heavy rains, which have caused a dramatic increase in veggie prices, and the coming colder weather. So I did a story about this again in the summer, like when I first started the channel, about corn shortages that are affecting the United States, Brazil, Mexico, and China, and Argentina, some of the biggest producers of corn. So due to climate change and weather conditions and all these other shortages of stuff that we've been facing over the last year, there's a lot of grains that didn't really perform well. SSJ for Curtis, how's it going? Fist, Pikachu. Yeah, so there's a grain shortage that I reported about earlier on the summer, and now China is telling its citizens to stock up on food. There's another article that I wanted to go over quickly, but I've kind of related. But there's also maybe I'll go over it later. But if you guys look up fertilizer shortage. There's and people, can have their take on fertilizers, but that's how the conventional industrial farming world works. Is that we need fertilizers because we've depleted all of the nutrients out of the ground because of mono crop growing of the same things. But there's a shortage. There's a shortage of fertilizers because of natural gas shortages and all these ingredients needed, like nitrogen, that are needed to create fertilizers. Now, this is like a huge problem. It's related to all of the supply chain issues. But in this particular article, it seems as though it's not only the supply chain issues, not only the shortages due to weather and rain and freezing of the corn crops and things like that. But it seems as though China is preparing for some sort of action with Taiwan and the United States, or over Taiwan with the United States. and they're telling their citizens that, hey, like over the winter, maybe you should buy extra stuff, because there's going to be even more shortages of things. Um, the order from the CCP was issued via the government's Weibo account, which is a Twitter-like platform. Ministry of Commerce encourages households to stockpile daily necessities as needed. As of Tuesday, nearly 20 million people have seen it. As soon as news came out, all of the old people near me went crazy, panic buying in the supermarket. Wrote one Weibo. Noted. Meanwhile, the CCP backed newspaper, the Economic Daily, told citizens not to engage in too much of an overreaction imagination, noting further that the purpose of the directive was simply to ensure that Chinese citizens could feed themselves in the event of another lockdown. So, related to lockdowns and things like that, while the United States is saying that everything's all good, not really worrying about the shortages, kind of saying that Biden's going to increase the ports to operate with over 24 hours a day. The Chinese government's being pretty upfront to their people, saying like, hey, we're anticipating a bunch of food shortages. You guys should, buy some extra food, because not only might we go to war with the United States, we're also going to be battling COVID again because the winter's coming. And, I haven't done any research on the Chinese vaccinations, but, if they're telling that, they're obviously anticipating that they're going to go into lockdown again. So the weather has been increasingly worrisome after the China Meteorological Administration said that last month the La Nina weather pattern is already ushering in cooler temperatures, which is not only putting a pinch on food production, but also comes as coal supplies across the country are depleted thanks to a boost in demand, which is causing prices to rise and will have a resultant effect on Chinese consumers as well. So they're short on fuel. Coal prices. They're short on coal. So I don't know what that means. The U.S. Okay. Global food prices will remain high as supplies remain tight as well. So all this means that it's probably best for American consumers to start stockpiling food and other goods as well, since there has already been shortages of, toilet paper and other commodities in the big box stores. Now, I think on my last stream, guys, I showed you the Costco in South San Francisco had like zero chicken left. They had literally, I don't know how big the frozen container case is, but 15 feet or something of chicken. There was like half of it missing. There's a shortage of chicken and poultry, and if you just go to the supermarket next time, you'll notice that there's shortages of all sorts of things. So our government's like whatever about it, but the Chinese government is telling their people like, hey guys, something's happening. You should stock up a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna try to do, but stock up on dry beans and rice and stuff, and thankfully, like I mentioned, I've recently moved into a new spot. I'm going to try to over the winter prepare my backyard to start growing my own food. The last spot I was in I didn't have access to a backyard, but in the past I have, and I've been always able to produce a little bit of food for myself. So I'm prepared to start doing that this winter. I would urge everyone to do the same. Let me read some comments, and then I'll finish up this story. All right, just some conversations, a little Jackson Hinkle emojis, just a little hammered down. Like it, like yeah, like it says, probably not about war, more about COVID or energy shortages, etc. We'll see. We'll see if there's a war with over Taiwan. That was in the news a little bit ago, and some commentators, I think maybe even Jackson Hinkle, was talking about um, Taiwan a little bit a couple weeks ago. It's definitely a possibility. Time to buy that bidet adapter for the toilet seat. Wesley, definitely. Um, I bought a debate. I bought a bidet during the toilet paper shortage when COVID first started. Highly recommend a Tushy, the brand. I might even have a referral code maybe that I can share with you. I'll look and send it to you if you want, if you're really serious about a bidet. Honestly, I always thought growing up, because I thought bidets were weird. Once I was able, fortunate enough to start traveling a little bit, bidets change the way that you go to the restroom or you finish up going to the restroom. Um, so, yeah, let me just finish up reading this article and then I'll let everyone go. And again, to everyone who's watching, I really appreciate you guys coming out. I don't know who else is live right now, but thank you for choosing my channel to be watching. Global, let's see. Where do I want to start? Okay. The U.S. has its own energy crisis brewing thanks to, again, to the Biden regime. I like how they called it the Biden regime because I would agree. Gasoline and diesel fuel prices have skyrocketed since the brainless one took office in January. Prices for gas are up 200% in some parts of the country. They're up here in California, like I mentioned, and they are still rising after Biden's handlers instructed him to end oil and gas drilling projects. Okay, this isn't true. Joe Biden. Okay, whoever is writing this is now like their bias is coming out a little bit. So who wrote this article? JD Hayes. Look into him later. But Joe Biden has increased oil and drilling projects. He's issued more permits on our public lands. I don't think Line 3 has been canceled to the best of my knowledge. Was it Keystone XL I think has been paused, but I'm very positive that shit will start again once it dies down and once Sunrise Movement stops crying about it. So, and that's probably why they don't talk about it anymore. I think they're winning, but they're not. Coal is also in short supplies. All of the 2022 and most of the 2023 coal supplies have already been bought up, which means that if we have an unusually cold winter, those supplies are going to dry up even more quickly because over the past 20 to 30 years, insane left-wing. Okay, I'm going to just stop this because this person obviously is a right-winger, and they're being very biased now. So I'm just going to stop reading this. Butternut squash stores for months. Very true, Wesley. It's very, yeah, kombucha squash also stores for a very long time. Yeah, guys, well, thank you for tuning in. 40-minute stream. I think that's pretty good. Definitely encourage everyone to stock up on some canned goods, some dry goods, some butternut squash, some kombucha squash. What else? Water, probably. I don't want to become a prepper, but it's looking like I might need to. So maybe, I've been telling my partner that maybe we should buy, or maybe I should buy a generator. Um, to, buy a generator with what gasoline is what I keep saying to myself. Um, but you gotta, I gotta try. Also, generators aren't that expensive, so I think I might just buy one just to have. What I want to start doing, guys, also is just like, this is a tangent thing, but I used to do a lot of like projection activism. So I had a projector and I would go light it up. I'm going to start doing that again to get some messages across in the Bay Area, because there's a projection activist that is around, and I had a little Instagram conversation fight with him a few days ago. Argument, not a fight, but he's kind of pro DSA, pro Sunrise Movement. I told him that the DSA, or Justice Democrats, I'm sorry, same thing. Justice Democrats take dark money, and told him how he can find that that's true. And then he mentioned Robbie Yeager and his article, and kind of dismissed him because I guess he wrote, Robbie Yeager wrote that the Sunrise Movement was controversial, and he doesn't. This specific activist I was talking to on Instagram and on his comments on one of his projection posts, calling out the Democratic Party for accepting fossil fuels. It's basically like, duh. But yeah, he kind of dismissed Robbie Yeager for basically exposing the Sunrise Movement and the Justice Democrats. And you shouldn't be mad at people for exposing people that you appreciate. So, these people exist where they're mad at the people who exposed corruption to the people that they admire, and they're mad at those people. It's like, but they're the corrupt ones, and they actually did you a favor, because now you can stop wasting your time on worshiping them or like donating to their organizations. So, anyways, tangent about that, but I want to start doing that again. Fanboyism is never a good thing. That's true, Les Bones. Let me read some of these comments. Wesley, line 3 is really complex. The water protectors want not only the new one stopped, but the old one dismantled and cleaned up. 100%. And remember, Obama in 2016, water cannon, water protectors in sub-zero temperatures. And I anticipate that Joe Biden's going to do the same. I believe line 3 is they're still fighting for line 3. I think there's still water protectors out there protesting that, and anticipate. I will be sure to cover it on my channel once I hear that Joe Biden is hosing down water protectors again in sub-zero temperatures this winter. I anticipate that he will be doing that. I am thinking of building a bicycle-driven generator and get some exercise while I make some juice. It sounds like a good idea, Leslie. I might have to steal your little designs for that. Although I'm pretty sure it's very easy. Just like hook up a generator to the bike chain and pedal. But if you guys ever check out a website for doing like DIY stuff, it's called instructables.com, I think. Basically, people have blueprints for everything. It's kind of cool. So I'll look up on Instructables how to do a bike generator. But all right, guys, thank you. Kind of rambled a little bit at the end there. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share this if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. And until the next time, well, tomorrow I'll be streaming from Twitch. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm able to stream from Twitch live from Nancy Pelosi's house in the afternoon to report on or show. I don't know if I'll do much reporting, but I'll be filming live um, the People's Assembly at Nancy Pelosi's house tomorrow in SF. So later, guys. Thank you. Have a good rest of your night. Peace out.